It's 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, and I am here to construct another puzzle for your entertainment, because that is what I do these days. So, this week, the puzzle I'm working on this week will be the first puzzle to go up on my Patreon in 2026. And I think that I want to start with a variety cryptic themed around resolutions in a couple of ways. It's a little bit um, it's a little bit of a fraught topic, and I may want to see about uh, having a brain a punchline that pokes fun at the idea of resolutions. But um, let me set up a sheet for this. So I'm presuming this would be a... Now, I usually don't do variety cryptics so close together. I had a variety cryptic for Thanksgiving, so I wouldn't... Well, do that. Hide as much of it as possible. So, but I just had the idea because I usually like to alternate variety cryptics and vanilla cryptics, and I also want to maybe have a variety cryptic that goes up in February following Mystery Hunt, inspired by it, like I did the Family Jewels last year, inspired by the theft of the case of the missing shadow diamond was the theme of the 2025 Mystery Hunt. So I might do something about in that would probably go up in February. So maybe I shouldn't do resolutions. I shouldn't do a variety cryptic. Because I was thinking of having a thing where I have gimmicks that are about different kinds of resolutions, but they're also re-solutions. So like each gimmick is used in two different ways. So for example, the if the one of the gimmicks is work out, this could mean two things. It could mean anagram, working out is a reasonably common anagram indicator, or it could mean drop W. And it could be that like one of these you have to do to the clues and the other one you have to do to the answers before entering them into the grid. Um, you can have another one that's like maybe learn French, where like you can have false something about false cognates or words that are in um, both English and French with different meanings. So, e.g., pain, chat, or maybe phrases with French. So, like toast, kiss, fries. Can I come up with a fourth? Four is a good number for these. Uh, French doors. Oops. French dip. Excuse me. French horn. There are certainly other things that could be with French. And again, for each of these, I would probably have one of the gimmicks that applies to the clues and one that applies to the entries. Um, this might be a useful thing to hold on to for next year, I think, and not try to cram it in. And maybe I just do a regular block cryptic instead. So we'll edit the stream title. All right. So we'll close that. Let's go and start up yet another new sheet. No, I don't want your tables. That. Outline. Conditional formatting if text is exactly just, done. And then we'll go so then obviously we'll be placing the other black squares to separate things. Now, one entry that I want to include in here is going to be 1 ton. Because I had a clue idea come to me the other day. I'll share it with you when we get there. Get to that point. And actually, the clue idea came when I was initially considering the resolutions idea. Or there were a couple of different things that led to it. So I'm probably going to want a couple of grid spanning entries. Maybe I don't do my usual like top, bottom, left, right spanners. Maybe I do like 3rd, 13th, 5th, 11th, something like that. It probably still makes sense to have things going around the outside. let me just see how it looks if I were to drop in some things. All right, if I'm doing this, then I probably want to do that. And then here we can have so something like that. How do I like the look of that? That looks actually pretty nice. Like I'm just thinking about this aesthetically. It's pleasing. Uh, I can fuss with some of the black squares that aren't the black squares other than these two. I can fuss with those a little bit. So then how would it look if I swapped and like did that and that? Yeah, fine. Look at me just like looking at different designs as if I know anything about graphic design. I just know what makes my pattern brain happy. We'll do it this way. So then I should, all I have placed here is a T. Anything can go here so far. So I won't worry too much about that in specific. Um, so I guess, although I guess I should think about the 15s, because those are going to be the ones that grab attention. Hi, Liari. I am going to work on doing a cryptic today. Um, it's just that having just a T here is like, it's practically no information. Um, I suppose I could do, not if they're in the, I was going to say I could do something like putting a square on the end to make it a 14, but not if it's not the top, not if it's not the first and last row or column. Which could mean that so if I did that, I'd alright. So I'd probably put them here and here, and then Have 3 grids to finish cluing for 3 different papers, 1 unch, 1 to edit, and a couple of different test solves. Oh, that's quite a lot. I, on the other hand, I envy you for having so many different pies to have your fingers in. Like, I know that I could and probably should submit to more publications, but sometimes I have a hard enough time just keeping up with Patreon. Um, no, I'm not sold on this. I'm gonna go back to what I had before. Is this gonna be? Yeah, this is a regular block cryptic. I thought about doing a variety cryptic, and then I was just like, I had too many variety cryptics going back to back for me since I only do cryptics on occasion. And the last cryptic that I posted was a variety. I didn't want to return to the well too soon. Mm, no, that, that. Oops, that's not where we go. Go there. Is that all balanced? And then we take that out. Why do you do it in sheets for a regular one? Because I do everything in sheets. I do almost all of my gridding in sheets. I suppose if I were using Crossfire, I could at least have it do, like, give me suggestions for autocomplete. But, like, 90, maybe not 90%, 80, at least 80% of the time, I'm doing a variety format that just, even if it's not a cryptic, it's some variety format that simply does not work as in anything but a spreadsheet. And so I just do a spreadsheet. It's my natural impulse. Also, because I started off thinking about doing a variety, I opened up a spreadsheet. It's just my uh, modus operandi. All right, let's see if anything jumps out. Dot 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 T star. I have a lot of great things. Great white heron, great white shark. I don't know that I have good. Um, None of those are jumping out as could potentially do some weird punny thing for great vowel shift. Uh, yeah, it is fun fill, and oh right, because it's not on the end, I don't have to worry about putting a. If it were on the very side, the very right, I would have to worry about where the V went. But it's not on the far right, and the V would be in an unchecked square anyway. And I was initially thinking of it as some sort of revenge thing where it's like an anagram of great vowel, but pondering like doing a reverse application of the great vowel shift. Um, Although then that really would just be definition by example. Um, hmm. Let's maybe do something. Could do something like slight. Uh, Oops. Alignment's bothering me. And there's a number of ways to clue slight, although it's kind of hard to. You only ever see it in the phrase sleight of hand or other uh, variations on that. Um, this could be expense or expanse. Feels like you could have something ending with press or express. They're all, almost all of them are expresses, which I might not want to have if it's crossing expense. I guess Associated Press. This can be anything. Um, let's see. This is for. I was pondering something with a Q. The only real option for that is Quebecois. Do I have. That just doesn't look very good to clue. You have bisque and then COE. COE could be, or ECO, it could, I don't know. We'll see if I get anything for this crossing one. A dot Q dot. Is that it? Oh wait, one longer than that. Giant squid. Or arabesques. Okay, yeah, I could have like giant SB soldier ants and then something to clue quid, you know. So the obvious thing to do here is to have ing, but I wonder if maybe we could have a different. Maybe it's actually an ong or something like air long. Not I. Furlong. What is the etymology of furlong? Is it just like far length? Furrow long. Oh, right, because it's you would furrow a field. Um, Mukbang. That's all right. Is there something that can go like this? Uh, 15 k dot s star. Hmm. Okay, I'm not as excited about the K words that would result from that. So, oops. Backing up. How about do? Oh, but I usually see dugong spelled with a U. It's not hard to have it be the variant, but um, there are some interesting um, wordplay options for Mustang. But then, what is this going to be? Sister something? Sesame seed bagel, sesquicentenary, but I already have to have two entries with Q's in them, so let's not add to that. Sister Christian. Wow, this word list has Systems Twilight, which, as far as I know, the only thing with that name is an old puzzle game by my friend Andrew Plotkin, aka Zarf, that was made for like mid 90s for Mac and was inspired by the Cliff Johnson games like 3 and 3 and so forth. But it's a very good game, but I'm surprised that it has enough. Hang on a second. It's catching up. You use crossword compiler unless you're doing an American one. Well, I use a Mac, so crossword compiler is out. Uh, like sesame seed bagel. Oops. At the very least, uh, looks like there's a letter bank in it, but probably not a one-word letter bank because it's gambled plus an S. Oops, gambled plus an S. Uh, now let me cryptic. Just rename that so I can find it later. Sesquipedalians is potentially nice because it's kind of self-descriptive and is just, a word lover's word. And I could get quip and dolly or snail reversed at the end. All right, I've twisted my arm. Oh, whoops. Left out. I'm just seeing how at the end it reverses to snail ad, and I'm trying to imagine an ad for a snail would be. Or is it an ad with a snail in it? I know there was a series of ads for, might have been like a car insurance company, like Progressive or something, that had a turtle in it. Or maybe it was an internet. No, it was probably internet, where it's like, you know, the turtle's telling you not to get that internet because it's too fast. And like, turtle stereotypes, man. On the other hand, I am all about slow and steady wins the race. So this is going to be me. Let's see. Measuring. It could be. Oh, I don't like that. No, don't like that. Meat something or meal. Nine. Meal plans. Meandered. Mean Girls. Let's see if we can make Mean Girls work. Looks like it's got tons of anagrams in it. Uh, dot, dot, dot. T dot? Is that it? Gourmets. Hmm. Well, that's... Is there something that will go here? That's m dot dot. No. Okay, so Mean Girls is not going to work. Miami Vice. That would put an I there. It's probably not going to work. Inundate. Then we have the D, so it could be arcades, Arcadia, acceded. What would I do for Miami Vice? It's got a boatload of Roman numerals in it. I could have like mice. I am. Is the grid Supposed to be... Oh, no, I just forgot to remove that. I was doing edits to the grid. Thanks for pointing that out, Kevin. So... Oh, but can I get... What even does that? Impel, imply, input, IMPay. I don't think any of those match what I could get from... I guess I could have Miami Heat. Does that give me anything better? I could at least get Expos from it. Um, eh. Well, since we already have an X, let's do SBs. Couple of sports things crossing. And I would have been happier with Arcadia, but we'll do arcades. Assuming that we can get this T. T dot dot I dot dot. We can't. All right. I'm half tempted to set this up with an equation solver to give me 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 missing letters that would be put into the equation solver. Well, I've had enough false starts on this that I'll do it. It might give me way too many results. Dot A dot A dot A B C dot E A dot U U dot B dot T dot C dot P dot D E E dot D dot 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 I dot dot. And what's the last one? Oh yeah. C dot B dot D. Okay, a lot of things with Meadow P. Anything that doesn't have Meadow P? Miami area, which is a boring... Okay, that backfired. Okay, so maybe if I have one of the things that ends in... So I liked meat space. If it gives me another Q thing for the S, we'll see. S dot U dot 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 T dot. Not going to put in squamata even if I didn't already have an overload of Qs. Okay, so I can't use soulmate because the M didn't work. Sour note. C dot N dot dot. Accents, sense. So there's... And if it were students, then it'd be... All right, let's do students. Archery and apply. All right, then what was it that I had for the E's? Oh, E dot D. Endearing, or one of these end of things. There's really something like end of time suggests revenge, but that's bad because all you get is the E and you have to infer end of time from that. I'd like to have something where there's a bit more than that. Ender pigs, is that for Minecraft? I mean, I could also do one of these end of time. I could see how I have like oft in dime, then just get the en, say. All I have is an A and an I. This is going to be a ton because it's going to be ings and Asians. Oh, only 300. That is not as many as I thought. You know what? That's too much. Let me get another letter to go in there. Probably this. Hmm. Hmm. I like benevolent because it has love. And then you could have bent on the outside if you just can account for the en. Uh, all right, now let's see if dot A. Oops. That's not what I wanted to see in the first part of the results. Chain reaction is good. I already have a giant word, giant phrase with a Q, so no giant sequoias. Hmm. I kind of like chain reaction is. I completely messed up the spacing of that. I could have dead tree addition in addition to meat space. That really looks like a one-word letter bank. Ordinate, rationed. I could make rationed work probably. Then could have flutter, fractal. So one thing um, that shows up in my searches so often based on the variety of things I search for is that if you reverse everything after the F in fractal, you get flat car, which is a kind of uh, train car for transporting certain kinds of goods. I think it's like open so that you can have larger than usual things or something like that. I don't know if a flat car, what is a flat car? And that's this. Oh, trying to remember what the NPL term for this specific kind of operation is. It might be a switchback, but I think a switchback you change the first letter. It's a reversed head to tail shift, but I think there's a pithy term for it. Not that I'm going to rely on the um, NPL's name for it. And maybe I don't go that route at all for cluing it. Oh yeah, I see how I'm going to clue that. Okay. Okay. The rest of this should be easy. I've done all of the 15s, I've done all of the 10s. I just have a single 9 over here, and almost all of the letters that are exposed are really common. So what goes here? Dollar, collar. I guess collar has a couple of homophones. Is there anything interesting for CD other than things like codes and coded? I'm not using, well, maybe I can use codex, but I doubt. Cadre, cedar, okay, cadet. I don't think there's anything that where I could put an X here. Um, mm, don't need to fill that in. I'm thinking more of like the small speaker, the counterpart of a woofer, rather than somebody who posts on X.com. This could also be theater, although I've done the obvious wordplay with that a few times. On the other hand, that's going to make this almost certainly going to be another ER, agent noun, or comparative adjective. We'll just see 9s star n dot r. Scrivener, not gonna do semi minor. Sojourner, Oh no, Sojourner would put a J at the end of a word. So maybe we'll not use could have something like Trenton. Ugh. I'm seeing a word play for this, which would be like rent, something like tore into, where into is a lift and separate, where it's actually into. I think that's a little bit too mean. At least I would find it unsatisfying. I might also think about if I can have a different letter here. Let's see. That's a lot. What is... It's after an I. Tolstoy. Maybe. I guess I should fill this first. This is probably going to be some ly thing, maybe. Oh, lots of different kinds of money. Stridency. Uh, so unfortunately, with all the monies, I don't think that is likely to have anything. Oh, s. Round sum, son of Sam. And I could change this to son of Sam, but do I really want to have a serial killer as one of my entries in here? Maybe stridency. Something nosed? Hog nosed? I know there are hog nosed snakes. I've got song in there. And then that can be anything. All right. There we go. I'll take that as my grid. And now I have plenty of time to write clues. All right. Not going to worry about grid numbering yet. Mustang, Slight, Associated Press, Students, 1 ton. Ah, care about exact enumerations. Quebecois. Time. Dollar. Oh no, collar. Hog-nosed. Dead tree edition. Rustled. And then skip some space. Neat space. Sesquipedalians. Archery. Giant squid. Expense. Great vowel shift. Tyson. Benevolent. Stridency. Let me make sure that that is the sort of usual quality. Yeah, just wanted to make sure it wasn't stridence, which didn't sound right, but yeah, stridence redirects to stridency. What else do I have? Fractal, sundial, cedar. Oh, forgot about Tolstoy here. And is that it? Yeah. Now let's. I'll just cut off the ends of Associated Press and Dead Tree Edition. What is my... I'll also go down to 150%. So I'll make this wider. Gotta make this a lot wider. Alright, so I said I was starting with 1 ton because I had a clue idea had come to my head. Oscar Isaac lost some weight. That being O for Oscar and Newton for Isaac minus the W. And it doesn't particularly pertain to the clue, but Newton is also an amount of weight. It is it is 1 kilogram meter per second squared, which means it's about a tenth of, it's the weight of about a tenth of a kilogram in Earth gravity, 100 grams. It's roughly a quarter of a pound. So, soldier ants. Ants are just ants. Pound. Large invertebrate. So this is this would be a hybrid phonetic, not phonetic clue, where we hear child would be son and setup gives laid backwards. I definitely want to use setup. This is such a good, like, this is just a very smooth surface. I'm going to go with it. If my test solver complains a lot, and it'd take a bit, because, like, you know, out of left field does hybrid phonetics all the time. I wonder what the etymology of strident is. Okay, so it's nothing to do with stride. Didn't see why it would be related to stride. So we could do something where we have stride plus NCY in some way. I'm not going to worry about that yet. This needs a little bit of workshopping to. So the N. So if it's like bent around NE love or love NE, that can go in either direction. It could be like new love with something that will indicate it's um, it's clipped. Good tendency to have I don't want to have love in in the plane here. New romance on the rise. Because bent doesn't just mean to be curved or angular. It can also just mean a tendency. I, you know, uh, so dead tree, it's gonna be something. Like I wanted to have like rationed bits to give the letters, but then we still need the indicator for the banking part. Um, the problem here is rationed does not really apply to like once you've copied and distributed once you've copied it, like you're no longer rationing it really. And also you don't ration a newspaper. Maybe mm, I might need to go back to that to workshop the wording. So there I am using apply sort of punningly as appley, like a tech giant. Newton and aptly in consecutive clues. Oh, yeah. Um, and it is. And again, I mentioned Newton being a unit of weight, and that's, well, Newton, gravity, Apple, all that. It has to do with weight, but indirectly. Um, I'm just seeing that both of the oops, both the both of these unfinished fours could be seed, but I don't want either of them to be seed. Partly because I have cedar here. might tweak this to have something in place of Mike, especially since I already have one male name that is a NATO um, letter. So maybe we don't have Mike. Um, M. Bonds. James Bond's boss takes speed in the real world. I think that's a little bit more colorful. Also seems like somebody who would have a reason to need to take speed. Must be a very stressful job running MI6. So this sleight has so many different possibilities. It's slay plus T, it's slight with an E in it, it's a homophone of slight, it's SL and 8. I like both 8 and slay because it's a different pronunciation of that same EIGH, so it's a more interesting concatenation. The slight homophone isn't that interesting to me here because they're so close in spelling. Hmm. Yeah, for stridency, there's the stride plus three letters that are kind of hard to clue. I suppose you could have North Carolina. Um, that was easy. Walk to North Carolina Club, making lots of noise. So just using NC, and then the old chestnut of club for Y. Um, could use gym instead of club, but like club in the sense of nightclub. There's a lot of noise at nightclubs. Maybe I should say a lot of noise. So archery is a cherry with one of the R's in cherry moved to the beginning. So that could be an interesting wordplay angle. It also has share in it. Um, could also be a hidden in something like researcher or why something. If you excuse me one moment, I need to step aside for a couple minutes. Okay, we're back and ready to write some more clues. So cedar has some one-word anagrams: cared, cadre, arced. Although I wouldn't want to have arced if we have archery elsewhere. We'll do Nathan's just as a to make the um, contraction flow better. And I could tweak the definition of that. It's just I realized that saying frequently for oft is a little bit strange when you actually get to the end of time. Okay, that's a little bit uh, smoother, I think. So catch, collar in the sense of like to apprehend a criminal or something. Someone phoning in being caller, Caller. Although I wonder if maybe I should. What is the. Maybe arrest. Sort of suggests a scenario where like somebody has called in to a radio show and confessed of a crime as the police are breaking into their where they are. I don't know where that um, scenario came from. So this was going to be like cooked bisque or stirred bisque or whatever. And then ECO could mean like green. But it's combining forms. So like green beginning, green introduction. Like a bisque could have green ingredients in it, but I don't see how you get um, how you get turn that into eco. How about English company involved in producing bisque or it could just be certain Canadians. Uh, I don't like the grammar of this. If it's involved in something, it's going to be in producing. Mm. It's like involved in produced bisque. Uh, yeah. Hmm? What if I say bisque? Uh, how many have I got so far? 6, 11, and out of 28. It's not even 11 o'clock yet. So I don't know if I'll be able to finish all of this, but I'll definitely get most of it. I just realized that my two 15s across are Dead Tree Edition and Associated Press, in addition to the Dead Tree Edition Meat Space Retronym pair of retronyms for cybers, like internet inspired retronyms. Great vowel shift will require some consideration. That doesn't quite work the way I wanted it to. Uh, What I was thinking is that you shift the vowels in great in the same way that you would do a Caesar shift on all of the alphabet, except that E comes after A, so it would be gruot. So I suppose it could be groit. If I understand English spelling and the great vowel shift correctly, I think great was one of the words that was not really subject to the great vowel shift. Um, I mean, it might have gone from gret to great, except it would have been gret because presumably it was long. The great vowel shift in a nutshell. English used to have vowel length that was actually length in time, where the if you look at the words can and cane, cane was actually can, but with the a just being longer in time than can or can. I think it would have been more like can. And then the same thing for something like uh, bet and beat would have been bet and bet. And then over time, the longer vowels started to change, where a went to a, e went to e, and so on. And this is the great vowel shift. And it's the reason why we say that a word has a long a or a long I sound in it, even though that's not really a thing that English has anymore. Several languages do have vowel length. For example, ancient Greek. I don't know if modern Greek still has vowel length. And a lot of the poetic feet that we talk about, like iams and trochees and whatnot, which in English verse are based on stress, were in Greek based on length. Dactyl was not just, higgledy piggledy, where the stress is on the hig and the pig, but it would be higgledy piggledy. And stress isn't even really a part of it. Um, hmm. You can't even really say it's open. I'm trying to figure out a concise way to say that it's a piece of rolling stock that does not have walls. And you can't really say it's open-sided because it has no sides. Open. Um, it's wordy, kind of needs to be. And it's sort of something that you have to sort of infer from the. You might have to work out in reverse, get it from the letters in the grid. But I'm okay with it. I also like convoluted rather than complicated here. Uh, the math nerd in me likes that because a lot of fractal shapes are can be formed by a process that is called convolution, which has a specific sort of mathematical meaning, and it's a way of sort of repeatedly applying something to itself. One thing that I kind of want to do with Hog-Nosed, yeah, I first noted that it has a reversed song inside it, but that it's like HO something, get the HO from something, and then diagnosed, but uh, without the reversal of aid. I need a good synonym for diagnose. a good reversal indicator here. Could also possibly be hippo's hide. I think I forget to have deletions a lot. I do have a deletion here in my clue for 1 ton. So for Tolstoy, it's going to be like S. It's either toy after reversed slot or S toy after reversed lot. And you could get the S with like Russian author apostrophe S at the beginning of the clue. Um, so Russian author's plaything. I could also get tol, TOL to be the inner parts of stole, which could in this case be like a fur stole. Um, just thinking how we could have stole in both clues, in two consecutive clues, with two different meanings. Where did I have? I don't know. It was mostly okay. Um, uh, so the wordplay I want for students is studs taking on roughly 10 something. So I need a good word or phrase for studs, and then I need a good definition for students. But just like, oops, like, ten. again, it's something that I like. I need to workshop the phrasing on this, but I want something where you have like the surface is um, that these skilled lovers or what have you are going to teach some un, unskilled or unschooled people in the ways of loving. I have no idea what I'm doing for Associated Press yet. I mean, maybe it's P inside dress at the end. Could have CIA. I just realized a an alternate phrasing for for the clue for meat space, which I'm probably going to go with the one that I currently have, but where instead of takes speed, takes in speed, the Sandra Bullock movie, as though like when not um, being a spy master for these fictional spies, they watch a 90s action film. But I'm going to say it takes speed. I have to say, having um, not so long ago written a variety cryptic where the grid was highly constrained, so I was selecting answers for their, fitting the gimmick and not for inherent wordplay, and where the clues were all constrained in some way or another. Just like forgetting how easy it is to do a plain cryptic, and easy and fun it is to do a plain cryptic and choose words that look nice to clue and then clue them nicely. Oh, such a relief. Uh, I need I need to come up with some misdirect definition for archery, like an activity that involves something which is technically correct for archery but makes it sound like something else. Like archers draw, they draw bows. but I feel like activity that involves drawing is a little bit too loose. Well, if there's the cryptic, if there's the wordplay to support it, maybe. Well, I've been doing cryptics for nigh on 15 years. My first cryptic appeared in the Enigma, the National Puzzlers League monthly publication in 2011. So I've had practice, and also with cryptics as well as the kinds of variety crosswords that I normally gravitate to, they really tickle the pattern matching wordplay. Like that, my brain is very attuned to that sort of pattern matching wordplay. Like, oh, these letters also appear in this word, that sort of thing. And so some of that is, you know, the particular way that I have trained my autistic brain to, or that my autistic brain has trained me to look at words as sequences of letters. With sesquipedalians, and I could have not just a reversal of snail ad, but like snail aid, like a drink for, well, it would be a drink made from snails, really. Ugh. But it could be like Gatorade. Uh, uh, it's not quite what you would get if um, you had uh, the if Gatorade had been developed not by the University of Florida, but by the University of California, Santa Cruz? Yes, Santa Cruz is the banana slugs. So if the University of California, Santa Cruz, for some reason was developing a sports drink, um, that maybe it would have been called Slug Aid. But I don't think there is a uh, that there is a college with a whose sports mascot is a snail. I mean, Santa Cruz is already taking the piss by calling themselves the banana slugs. Former writers. And this could be expanse um, instead of expense. But former writer is a little bit more sensical than former Greek god, uh, though that could be a thing. Well, we're no longer in ancient Greece, so I'm no longer a Greek god. Uh, it's like vastness of former Greek gods, something center. That is just a it's a funny image that Pan has retired from being a Greek god, and but he's still about partying just a little bit more. Wait, am I confusing? Am I conflating Pan and Dionysus? Pan, wilds, shepherds. So he's no longer living in the. All right. Now, if I had it as former writers, something to give me E, cost of former writers, um, rec center. Oh, okay, fine. Fine. We'll go with the more. It's not that I don't mind having a fanciful one, it's just that you have to, like, go a little bit farther to connect the dots in that one. Whereas, you could have, I don't know, like a former writer or, former, well, I guess not former. I was thinking of, them pulling a Will Shorts and creating their own ping pong or whatever specialty sport facility. Let's see, we're at 11:20. We don't have any hiddens yet. There aren't a lot of these that could be hiddens now. Slight could be if you did it more like S plus Layton, like Professor Layton, the video game series. But Tyson is So this could be something like Betty's only embracing Cicely. Is that how that's spelled? Cicely Tyson, yep. I wonder, um, U star TY SON A plus. City song. Novelty song. Oh. Now what's the indicator? The indicators that I want to use feel more like homophone indicators, although as long as it can be construed as a hidden. Although if we are doing a I feel like if there is going to be a Tyson mentioned in a novelty song, it is more likely to be Mike Tyson. We'll leave this as is for now. Gotten 20 now. I feel like I have already done a clue for Mustang at one point that was like, is Director Lee required to be making a horse? or something where it was must plus ang. But there's still a lot of things. There's stan inside mug or gum backwards, gnats inside gum backwards, uh, gnat, the insect, backwards with some as well, some backwards with tang. Just a lot of, I'm spoiled for choice here. Users. Just need the SES or just the SE. This is a $5. So I'm thinking that maybe SE is some kind of grammatical case, but I'm not sure that there's a commonly used case that, because cases, the names of cases tend to end in tiv, so E, but the first letters, the major Indo-European cases, none of them begin with S. Okay, so Basque has associative case. Oh, superessive. Okay, let's go with superessive, just because that's a very sesquipedalian word. shouldn't have a Q in that one. I need a fancy word that means beginning. It's not quite right. I need to come up with a better phrasing than use of your $5 words because some people are going to go, superessive case isn't a word. Uh, like, this isn't. Yeah. Uh, Maybe I need something better than beverage. Is there a good libation? This is just so. Ah, I love this. It's just so extra. All right, it's 11:42. Let's see if I can knock out. If I can get Associated Press, everything else is much easier. Like four of them are 4 and 5 letters. All right. Okay, so we could have like ass. Um, I want a nice colorful synonym of ass, as in a person. Merriam-Webster, you coward. They have no thesaurus entries for ass in either the sense of um, a fool or annoying person or rear end. Cowards. It's not often that I call Merriam-Webster cowards because they're usually good about like being uh, somewhat incisive in their commentary on current events and such. Jerk at old spy organization. Trade. Uh, P. Not the source dictionary. I am so one. I'm trying to figure out how to get the letter P to be someone wearing a dress, and two, how to make this not come across as transphobic. The fact that it's a jerk may uh, help here, but I still don't want to like repeat. Just because it's like tell everyone something for P in a dress, and then telling it to a bunch of reporters. I don't want it to be. I don't want to duplicate organization. Um, well, I could use agency there, but that's still kind of. Definitely don't want to use association. Eh, So I think the way to make this not feel like I'm passing on a transphobic thing is to make it sound completely mundane. Mm. Also, it could be. I don't have to have dress be women's clothing. It could just be clothing. Let's not have it be president, though. Um, yeah, I'll workshop that later. And I see that it is just about midnight now. I have gotten all of the long entries clued, so just have a few short ones to go. So I will call this for tonight. Thank you to those of you who came by and watched. Again, this puzzle will probably go out on Patreon at the beginning of January. January is going to be a bit busy for me for my Patreon because I'm not going to be posting on the week of Mystery Hunt because I'm going to be exhausted from Mystery Hunt on Monday, which means that I have to post every other week, every other Monday, whereby every other Monday, every other, I mean all of the remaining Mondays. So I don't really get downtime. But that's why I am working ahead. I will be on next week, even though it is close to Christmas. I do not observe Christmas or pretty much any of the other religious holidays around this time. But if you are celebrating Hanukkah, I hope you have a happy Hanukkah. And also, I wish a happy solstice to everyone. If you are in the Northern Hemisphere, the days will start to get longer. Already the nights are getting later, which is what I'm mostly concerned with. But until then, be well. I will hopefully see you all next week. Good night.